Hi, I am going to be reviewing the Stila Dream in Full Color palette that's new for this 2011 holiday season. I just got it in today. This palette costs $39 and it has 29 eyeshadows, 7 cheek colors, and one eyeliner. It's still a waterproof smudge stick eyeliner. It's a really great value at $39 for that many shades, and compared to a lot of other holiday collection palettes that are out there, it really is a good value. Like Tarte for True Blood has a palette for $52 that has 17 shades compared to this 29 here. The Urban Decay Book of Shadows Volume 4 is $64 for 16 shades. And so that one's pretty expensive and you don't get that much. As far as the quality of the shades, I don't think Stila uses the same formula for these as for their normal eyeshadows. So if you're used to Stila eyeshadows, buying them like in the single-use pans, you're probably going to be disappointed with these. But they're not terrible quality. They're definitely better than drugstore brand, and certain shades are better than others. And I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. Stila likes to say that this is a $366 value. I think that's kind of stretching it a little bit because, like I said, these shades aren't quite to the level that you would expect, and I do think they decrease their quality a little bit versus their normal shadows, which is something other companies like Urban Decay do not. It's really cute. It might be a little bit difficult to keep clean because the case is clear. You can see through it. So to talk about some of the individual colors, some of my personal favorites are like this metallic copper shade. It's actually called Copper. It's really nice. And this metallic brown shade called Twig. It's really pretty as well. Then, if you're just curious about the amount of glitter in some of the glittery shades, you can see what it looks like there. If you've bought Urban Decay palettes before, then you've probably been frustrated, like most of us, about how insanely glittery the glittery colors are. I personally hate it and can't even use those colors because I just end up with big chunky glitter all over my face. These glittery shades are not bad at all. There's only about 3 or 4 shades that even have glitter, and it's not really chunky, and the quantity is not so high. If you can see this here, just got some nice sparkle. Really not too much glitter. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And then I really like this light shimmery shade here. It's a really nice color. There are a couple that I really don't care for, and I think the quality is pretty low on, and it's the 2 lighter matte colors. This one right here, you really can't see anything with that one, and this one right here is supposed to be kind of a lavender color. You really just don't get much color payoff with that. The brown matte shade is pretty dark, so you actually get some color with that one. The bright shades, like this blue, I'm not super impressed with their kind of shimmer and iridescence. It's okay. I think Urban Decay makes better brights than just about anybody out there, so if you're looking for bright colors, this palette's not really designed for that. The cheek color, a lot of people complain about the cheek color because maybe they're not that highly pigmented or they're not shimmery, but personally, I like that they're not shimmery. There are actually 4 matte cheek colors. I'll show you. But you can see this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade are all matte. And I think that's great because just about every cheek color I have is shimmery or glittery in some way, and sometimes you just don't want that, so it's nice to have some options that are not glittery. And then these two do have some glitter, but it's not overpowering or overwhelming, and they're relatively fine specks, so I think the blushes are kind of nice. It's not really a great bronzer or contouring shade. They're all kind of peachy or pink to some degree, but I do think there's a nice variety in them. They're not super highly pigmented, but I think that's in some respects better anyway, because when a cheek color has too much pigmentation, it's really hard to blend and you might end up looking like a clown. So these, you can just build it up until you get the color you want, and you don't have to worry about not being able to blend this crazy color on your cheeks. This kit comes with a smudge stick waterproof eyeliner. I had actually never used this eyeliner before. I don't know why, but it's really good. It's very dark and creamy and soft, but not too soft. And with other soft eyeliners before, I've had some problems with them not drying in a decent amount of time, so then they would smear when you open your eye and get all over your eyelid where you just did your eyeshadow. And this one I did not have any problem with that. I just applied it. I didn't even wait any amount of time. I just applied it, was done, opened my eyes, and I did not get any kind of smearing or any problem. The lookbook that it comes with, I'll show you. The back page gives you the actual kind of color chart that has the names of all the colors, and then the rest of the pages just have a picture with instructions and telling you which colors to use. I don't really care for this format. I don't like that they only have a picture with your eyelid closed. I would like to have one with it open so that you can see what the whole look is going to look like, and then they would show you what the cheek color looks like or anything else. It's just closed eyelid. I don't think that's very helpful, especially for people who are new to makeup and need to see what the rest of the eyeshadow looks like and what it looks like with an open lid. So, lookbook's kind of useless. They do kind of show you that they recommend applying the color in kind of a swirl pattern so that it's kind of idiot proof and you can just go around the swirl. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I personally prefer to pick out my own colors, and I don't care what swirl they tell me to use. I will use whatever colors I want. If you noticed, the outer shades, kind of the highlight shades, have a lot more color in them, a lot bigger quantity of color, and that's because Stila wants you to apply those colors to your entire lid before you apply other colors. I personally don't agree with this method. I think you would be a lot better off using a primer like Too Faced Shadow Insurance on your whole eyelid and then just applying the color where you want it to go. And the reason for that is when you're working with shades that aren't super, super pigmented and you put one shade on top of another shade, you're not going to get the same kind of color intensity and definition that you would get if you just used a primer and then put one shade directly on top of that. I think this palette would be really great for teenagers, people who don't already have an extensive makeup collection, for people who are new to makeup, or people that are currently using drugstore brands and they maybe want to branch out, or maybe you just want to get them a nice gift. Because for someone using a drugstore brand, these colors are going to be amazing. They're going to love them. But if it's someone who's used to using things like Urban Decay, or somebody who already uses the Stila line, they might be a little bit disappointed with the quality. This palette does have a lot of neutrals for people who like to wear neutrals, but it's got some brighter colors for people who want to experiment and try some colors that aren't just neutral. And it does not have a lot of glitter. I know I get really disappointed with Urban Decay sometimes because they put so much glitter in their palette. It's a pretty wide range of people that would really enjoy this palette. And it's a great value. It's got a ton of colors. It's got a great eyeliner that comes with it. Does not come with any brushes, but